Everyone get out!
Greetings, programs! Welcome to Crusader Kings 2. It's been a little while since the last video. In fact, I think we're getting on for about a month. Just to refresh your memory, basically I'm planning or engaged in espionage against England because that truce period ends at the end of the 1080s. So I've no doubt they will once again declare war on me. And yeah, I'm also now, I seem to remember I was going to declare war on either Norway or Sudrea. Either way, it's going to mean being at war with both because they've got a royal marriage. We'll just have a quick look around the map of Europe. HRE is actually, I can't remember if we looked in the last video or if it was the video before, but basically the HRE seems to have re-healed. There's some stuff going on over here. Russia is... I don't know that Russia's going to form in this one. I mean, there's a lot of the pagan states are actually still around and kicking butt, it looks like. You can see there Novgorod's not doing so well. I think Rostov is the only one that is... honestly, seems to be... yeah, but they could potentially... I mean, they're Russian Orthodox, so they could potentially form Russia if they get enough provinces. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. And Georgia is also doing surprisingly well considering its position. So, before we actually get into this, I have been thinking. I mean, one of the reasons I thought I could maybe do a series of this and make it interesting, but the thing is, I think to be really interesting, it has to have some kind of end goal. There has to be some kind of point to it. And as of yet, I'm honestly not really sure what I want that to be. So I'm open to suggestions, really. At the moment, the McJedis are just kind of pootling around and trying to defend themselves, and I'm just kind of... It's almost like I'm doing a playthrough and explaining the game, how the game works as it goes through, and I don't want it just to be like, a half dozen, 8, 9, 10 episode, whatever, advert for Crusader Kings 2, because, it's a fun game. I want there to be an actual point to these series, so... Yeah, maybe my mistake was not setting a goal when I went into this thing, but I wasn't really thinking about it in those terms at that point. But any suggestions anyone might have, I'm not... Obviously, I can't take every suggestion because that might end up being totally impossible, shall we say. It might end up like Twitch plays Pokemon. Probably not quite that bad, but still. But yeah, I mean, I will consider suggestions basically. So yeah, we'll just check actually. Obviously they're the softer target, but I don't know. I don't know. This is I mean, either way, I'm going to be in a truce, and I've got de jure claims on all of these provinces. So we'll just have a check and see where we are in terms of truces. Now, 4th May 1084. So just under a year before I can. So I've got to fix that in my mind. There's actually a really useful mod for Kerbal Space Program, which is basically a little alarm clock. And what this alarm clock does, well, you can tie it to certain craft and things like that. And oh, it's just a random court member. It just pings up a reminder. It brings the game out of fast forward mode. It tells you when an important thing's about to happen, when you're about to hit a maneuver node or something like that. Unfortunately, there's no such thing for Crusader Kings, so it means that I frequently... I've played... it's the same with EU4 as well. People I play EU4 multiplayer with will have noted this. Why am I clicking on that? I don't know. I frequently miss these dates for important things, and it's one of my bad habits. Now, Tane just built something. I didn't really properly look at that message. Castle walls, okay. I'm just looking at levy sizes and such like. Where is it most worth investing? Probably forests, although there's not that much to choose in between them. Militia training ground will cost 168 out of my 196. I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, I think we have to invest in the infrastructure, basically. So, yeah. So let's have a quick look, see what England's doing. There's my guy there. I have been getting conflicting information because I've read that you have to put them in the court of the person that you want to split off from their liege, and then I've read other sources that say no, you have to put them in the court of their liege. I honestly don't know which it is. It's actually quite confusing. It's yeah, there's sources on the internet saying both things, basically. Military training ground. Smallpox has broken out in Lothian. Well, that's not good. At the moment, it's just confined there. But when you get disease outbreaks like this, it affects your ability to raise troops. It affects your taxation, but also it can kill off members of your court. So it's actually kind of dicey. If there's a wave of whatever sweeping the land, yes, your court are generally among the nobility, so they're better protected. But I mean, look at this. This is spreading. So there's a potential that my character or characters in my court could catch smallpox, could even die of smallpox. So this is always a thing to be wary of. But there's not that much you can do about it. Sometimes you get an option to send for a medic. Other times, not so much. Apparently, apparently it's just it's still happening in Teviot Dale, but it spread briefly, and then it's just right. King Gudrod of Sorea, 30 days left. See, when I said, oh, I think there's a mod that tells you. Actually, no, it does tell you. I think it's in EU4. It doesn't tell you, which would be nice. Okay. He's found a great philosopher who's agreed to help me with his studies to enhance culture in the province. So this is going to be a thing that will cost me money potentially, but I'll get 50. Well, it's cultural tech points though. Let's have a quick look at the tech tree. That might give me enough to. I mean, that would give me enough to pop another, like say, popular customs, or tolerance, or in fact legalism I could have right now, in fact, which is... I think we'll say no, because that's 50 gold, and the one that I'm really interested in is legalism, and I can actually do that right now, so we'll go with that. I'll just pause that. I'm just pondering also shipbuilding, but I'm not really building shipyards yet, so we'll hang on to my military tech points. Invite one of my friends to a banquet? Sure. He's my steward, so that sounds like a good plan. Right. Oh, also, the truce period has expired. So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna just check. Are they still allies with? Yes. So Norway is going to come into this. That is inevitable. The question is, what's Norway up to right now? They are having an internal war because, yeah, this guy's split off. It's a minor distraction at best, but it might be enough. I mean, I'm running against the clock here. I've got, what, 5 years left, I think? What troops can I raise? 2,300. So he's not going to have many troops. The actual troops that Norway can raise from Caithness and Orkney aren't going to be that much. So what we'll do, I think we just got to bite the bullet. We've got to do it. We've got to take the risk. We're going to declare war, and I guess Argyle, because that gives me the link across, and then we'll see if I can also make other demands. I keep forgetting whether I can make demands extra demands or not in this game. It's because I play this. In fact, I play this less than EU4 these days, so I get confused between the mechanics that are in the different games. So let's all consolidate those there, and that's going to be about 2,000. I can get about another 2,000 from my levies. So let's have all of my vassal levies. Let's just lump them all together and have it that way. Well, here we go. So I've basically opinion bump with my steward, which is quite nice. So I'm going to easily roll over these guys, but I'm thinking I'm going to need these troops because of Norway, basically. Now, they do have to come over the sea to get to me, but they have a province that they can land in that is their own territory, so they're not... It's not like they're having to force a landing into hostile territory, which, you know, would work against them in terms of attrition and things like that. So even with only 3 provinces, they're actually managing to raise a fairly respectable amount of troops. So I I'm actually facing him just alone at the moment. Norway has maybe declined. I mean, if Norway was in, Norway would. I didn't mean to bring that up again, but Norway would actually. Um, it would. It would. What am I trying to say here? It would assume war leadership basically because it is the bigger partner. So we'll just consolidate here, and we'll actually have a war that we might win for a change, which is unusual for Scotland. Ooh, shots fired. True though. Right, Argyle's got to be my first. Actually, no, we'll bruise their army and then we'll siege Argyle, because they're going to be sieging my provinces all the while. So it will also give me war score. It'll make them have to go away and lick their wounds a bit. They've only got 4 provinces to work with, but it's going to be, yeah, look at them trying to run. Right, is he going to get there in time? No. This can be annoying. You can end up. There we go. It's not as bad as it used to be. I think EU3. Was it EU3 I'm thinking of? It might have been actually that you could have. Even in EU4, it's still a thing. You can end up chasing armies around the map because they just won't, you know. And if it's that last tiny bit of war score that you need, and their army is just denying you that war score by just running around, like. I don't know, in a World of Tanks game where there's this one enemy that just runs away and keeps running and keeps running and keeps running, and what should have been a win becomes a draw because everyone chases after them or whatever. Anyway, that wasn't planned, but his army is now completely smashed. We've actually got most of the war score we needed from smashing their army because they don't have a big army basically. So I will only maybe need to siege one part of this province rather than all 3 holdings in the province. Food supplies have... oh, okay, that actually lengthens the siege. I could try forcing the siege, but frankly I don't think the numbers are good enough. If you've got like 500 defenders with half morale and this number of troops, then yeah, okay, by all means. But otherwise it can take a while. So I'll actually just fast forward that because sieges are one of the least interesting things about this game. But hey, it's indicative of a warfare at the time. Hell, you go back far enough. I've actually got in my Steam library, I've got EU Rome, which was kind of an odd game. It was sort of a mix of, it had elements of Crusader Kings in it, and it was kind of bodged into the EU3 engine. Didn't quite work, and they've also done one, is it Sengoku, that's set in the Sengoku period of Japan, and again I've read kind of mixed reviews of that, so it's, yeah, but it going back to that Roman period anyway, I mean it was all about sieges, and of course the legions would build forts and stuff as they'd go, so fortifications, even right up until the Middle Ages, you know, even when you've got people toting around massive cannons, people are, it's like the arms race in, you know, World of Tanks, you know, armor versus or not even World of Tanks, you know, beginning of World War II, you've got bigger and bigger guns and more armored fighting vehicles. In the Middle Ages, of course, it was bigger and bigger cannons and more thickly walled castles. So this Yoda, my son, this dude here, small, green and wrinkly, as I believe we referred to him as, or at least I did in the title of the last video, he is now old enough to receive tutelage. So I am going to put him under somebody. Now I could put him under my own tutelage, I suppose, because I've got a fairly decent stack of traits. My actual numbers are okay. I don't know. I think we will. Because I'm a pretty good all-rounder. I don't have any outstanding. I mean, I could put him under the marshal, for instance, and he would get a very good martial influence, and it would also increase my vassal's opinion of me. There's always that to consider. You know, can you get something out of it besides? But I don't really want him to be paranoid, content, wrath. The rest of his stats aren't actually too bad. But it's finding somebody that had... I mean, like, for instance, my wife's got all positive stats, apart from... Well, actually, no, Zealous isn't terrible, although it can have negative modifiers. She's actually got a pretty decent stewardship score, but I just I don't know. I think we'll just stick with the king. We'll teach him myself, and that also gives me a chance to show off the events that can come up when you've got someone under your tutelage, when you're actually acting as somebody's mentor. So we'll fast forward again. Training ground built in forest. I mean, I'm between my vassals and my own levies and the retinue. I'm actually able to now raise a reasonable number of troops, but England can get like twice as many. And England, I'm going to check actually. I suspect they're still allied with France. Yes, they are in fact still allied with France. So it's like Scotland versus England and France. I mean, if the Holy Roman Empire joined in, it could be worse, but yeah, that's like literally the only saving grace. It's the two biggest nearest. Oh, a revolt. Peasants. Okay, okay. Filthy peasants. Wow. We'll just have to power through this this siege and then go nobble those peasants basically. This is taking a while, and this is their primary holding. Castle holdings always take by far the longest for obvious reasons. Cities are, I think, the quickest, but Somerled of Argyle. No, we'll just keep him there right now. We can possibly even ransom him off. That's actually, I mean, the ransom of prisoners is actually a sometimes you can go to war for, you don't want titles, you don't want land, you just want money, and you just capture a bunch of people and actually then you just ransom them back, and that's it. Hey presto, you've made a bunch of cash. You can also directly ask for cash from a defeated opponent, but it's more lucrative to do that in EU4, I think. But it's a nice extra mechanic, the ransom of prisoners. And of course, you know, you go back to that period of history, and the ransoming of prisoners was a big thing. Basically, um, it was. I'm trying to think of what's the term. It was part of kind of chivalric practice anyway. I can't think of this more specific like word for it. What I'm trying to think of, but anyway, yeah, that's part of what people think of when they think of the code of chivalry. But of course, it only really applied to nobles, and even then, it kind of didn't. It wasn't exactly a universally observed thing. There were still plenty of people doing really horrible things to each other. So yeah, but anyway, it's a potential source of revenue. So this is. I thought one siege might do it, but no, we're going to have to. Oh, damn it! Did you have to die? Okay, no, this is bad timing. In the middle of a war. Okay, so Yoda, young Yoda is the king. I've probably taken a bit of an opinion here, but it's not that bad. The Duke of Moray, though, he's down to 15, so we're going to need to shore up his opinion. Can't give him any honorary titles. Ooh, that's 50 gold. That's an expensive gift. I mean, that's really expensive. Does he have any ambitions that I can help fulfill? No. I'm not seeing any. I won't send the gold just yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Right, so I've also got a regent, and the regent has an influence on what can happen. And you can also actually get plotting between, you know, people can compete to become regent, so it can have a big influence. So I just need one more percentage. And, oh, he's... Now, he's willing to surrender. He loses prestige. We'll actually click decline there. We could maybe negotiate some cash out of him as well. The thing that is, it would be really nice to get more than one province out of him, because I don't know. It's no, I don't think I can. And I can add. I wish I could. Maybe you can't add money demands. Maybe that is just purely EU4 I'm thinking of. It might be. I guess we accept peace then. It's actually harder in EU to actually to get multiple bits of land at once. The easiest way is to, if you can transfer, if you can get a duke that's got like multiple holdings, then you can there we go. You can basically take a whole bunch of provinces at once. But he is now... oh, okay, yeah, that's now part of his holdings. Because it was his claim, basically. So we'll just nobble these rebels. And I had some other messages there. What? Why is it showing that? Yeah, I know he's my dynasty. Or is it because it popped up when my then father was... oh, okay, it's because he... that is weird. Popped up when he was alive. That's why it's showing it like that. So this is actually not ideal. This is far from ideal. A young king is not really what you want, especially. I'm also... yeah, you can see I've got a bunch of messages to deal with. So we'll go through those. And where are you going? Strathan. Okay. So we need to arrange a teacher. And I guess we'll go with the Duke of Albany because his other stats, his learning stat isn't great. But mind you, having said that, my actual marshal is -50 though. I don't like him, he doesn't like me. I mean, the opinion will go up, but I don't really like what is... he's also Jewish. Oh, of course he is, because I got that event. Yeah, that's probably why. See, the Queen's stats aren't bad, but her intrigue's not terribly high. But it can be improved. Yeah, I guess we'll go with the Queen, you know. Okay. No heir, yes, I know. Title loss, I know. Successor nomination. Can I not nominate myself? Apparently not. Oh, well, of course I can't nominate myself. When there's no heir, basically, it's one of your vassals gets selected. And if you die, then that's it, game over. When you're creating a new character, actually, that is... if you're going in with a... oh, I can usurp this title. Yes, please. A lot of gold, but the Duke of the Isles. There we go. And that has royally screwed him over because he is now... you can't be a count in charge of other counts. So that actually means I could potentially go to war with Carrick. Once I've basically got rid of my... so even though I've gone on a truce with him, I don't have a truce with... you can see there, I've got a truce, but I don't have a truce with him because he was a vassal and I wasn't directly at war with him. So actually, no, that works in my favour. That having usurped that title actually means... yes, it was expensive, but I can get more land. So there's that consideration. Right, where is this... this army? Just stop. Just stay put. Stay in the same place. 25th June. Right, we will actually intercept them. I'm going to take them down. We're going to get rid of these rebel scum. And then we're going to, I don't know, do something else. Normally by this point, I mean, these videos have tended to be like not that much happens, so some of them anyway. So I end up doing big cuts, and I think in the last video I like jumped forward a whole 2 years. But in this one, there's generally a lot more going on in wars, and I think I've mentioned this, that outside of wars, the game can be actually quite slow, and you can end up just fast-forwarding a lot. So you tend to see people declaring wars, not because they particularly need to declare war, but because they actually want to have something to do. I wonder if I could somehow improve my prestige. I don't, not prestige relation, but I don't think they're not going to stop wanting Cumberland. That is the problem. But if I lose Cumberland, at least it will be... there's not going to be any inheritance problems like there would have before. This army of rebels just will not die. Where are they going? Clydesdale, okay. Right. We might even be able to... I could either do two things here. I could wrap up the episode and it could be a sort of shortish episode, or I could actually go and declare war against the Earl of Carrick and try and take these two provinces here as well and consolidate Scotland more, basically. But we're getting up to, I'm just looking now, 25 minutes nearly, so I think we will just wrap up the episode here. We've had a minor war and we've broken the Duchy of, well, we've broken... Sutrea is no more. I've got the title of the Duchy of the Isles, so... right, he's actually marching into Carrick. I don't think I can... oh no, I can follow him. Okay. Now, he's going to be, let's see, he's actually Scottish. We don't have terrible relations. Might even be worth trying to do this diplomatically, you know. So, yeah, you can offer people vassalage. You can do it in a way that's yes, 20 prestige. He goes in my jail. Also, I have probably got 2 or 3 prisoners, haven't I, that I could possibly ransom. So let's take care of that. Known plots. Don't really care about that. Right, ransom prisoner. No. Can I ransom? I can banish him. Well, he was leading a rebellion, so I'll just off with his head. 20 piety? Oh, I don't have 20 piety. Yeah, we'll just keep him in prison then. I mean, he's nobody really. We'll just release him, I guess, if he doesn't have any cash. I get a small prestige bump from that. A small reputation bump, so that's yeah. So yeah, let's just investigate this. So there we go. I can declare war and take either of those 2 provinces. But if I can get him to become a vassal. So the way this works is you can actually see what it will take. So he's got a +1 opinion, but a -4 opinion. So from other things. So obviously the +1 is cancelled out by the -4. So I need to raise his opinion by at least 4 because you need to have at least 1 more positive than negative. So the positives need to there would need to be 5 positives against 4 negatives, basically. That's how that would work. Now I can't send him a gift. 81 gold. Jesus, really? He's got 2 provinces. He's a little 2-bit poxy earl, and a gift would cost 81 gold. Really? Okay then. I guess it's going to be war, but not just now. We'll wait till the next episode. This has actually been a fairly short one, and it's covered a fairly short span. We've only gone over about a year and a bit, I think. A year and a half, maybe. But we've done all right out of that, though. I've actually now got Yoda McJedi is Duke of the Isles. Yeah. Because I think Argyle isn't even part of that, so nobody else is going to be desiring that. It's not going to give me any negatives to actually hold on to that title. Yeah, no, okay, I think we will just wrap it up there. So, like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, if there's a kind of a specific goal you want me to be, I mean, it could be something like, you know, take over England or take over Ireland or try my best to, like, inherit Sweden or, you know, some kind of goal that would, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, this game, you have to make your own goals, otherwise you just play it till the part where the timer runs out and that's it, game over. Although I do have the ability to export the game into an EU4 scenario, so potentially I could turn this into a game of EU4 at some point. You know, we could just keep this going as a series until such point as we decide to go over to EU4 and have a look at that instead. That's a possibility. Just let me know your thoughts below, and we'll see what we can come up with collectively. So, if you've got any other comments, you can leave them below. You can hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.